Hi, and welcome to QuadCast. In this episode, the AlphaQuad team sits down to discuss the Reinvigorated AlphaQuad website. We talk about why it was the right time, the challenges in designing and building the site, and ultimately, what comes next. We hope you enjoy this conversation. Can you give us an overview of the new website redesign, and what was the reason for it, and why do you feel that now is the right time to have finally done so?
The previous design had been an incremental improvement, which had kind of gone towards entropy, I think it's saying. It had been so optimised and tweaked, it had basically fallen apart.
It had reached capacity and it was time to just do an overhaul.
Yeah, we need to start from scratch. Yes. With something a bit slicker, a bit darker, and something that held together a bit better. We'd never actually done a dark theme before, so this is a nice approach towards that.
And I think also something that represented us better and who we are as a team, and
like I said, dark and slick.
Yeah.
Why was now specifically the right time to do it? Because, I've been here for a year and a half and it's been spoken about on and off that entire time. So why was it now the time to go, let's just do it? We've been talking about it forever.
I think there was lots of things that we wanted to sort of start doing as a company. We wanted to share more of our own content online. We obviously wanted to start the podcast. So we just felt the website wasn't really in a position where we were proud of it. We were proud to shout about it because we just kind of neglected it, I suppose. We're so focused on delivering for our clients that we just never really get round to doing our own website. So that's why it was the time, really. We just wanted to make it relevant for us as a team and make it the best we possibly can get it, really.
Yeah. I suppose you want the website best to reflect the business.
Yeah, and before it didn't. No.
So with that in mind, were there any design elements that you specifically prioritised within the website redesign?
We wanted to make sure that there was a good colour palette to represent each area that we deal with, and we chose a really good, flexible and massively extensive icon set which we could use consistently throughout the project as well. So just providing some consistency across the piece.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of, and Kirsty, I think you'll have a good say in this, in terms of redesigning our social content and us restructuring and replanning that, I think that's been really instrumental in our work.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've been using the website design, we've all been working together, and we've been making sure that that's all reflected across all of our channels, so social media, everywhere else. The aim is to make sure that we're using the right colour palette for the right area of our services.
Just to make it look as best as it can possibly be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Overall,
and consistent.
Yeah, consistency. So I think that's been really helpful for us to work out, okay, well, we need to do more social posts about this specific thing as opposed to this, because we've done a little bit too much of this and not enough of this.
Definitely helps with our content calendar planning.
And I think we wanted to establish a stronger brand for ourselves as well. I think our brand previously, it lacked, it was a little bit weak. We've always had the orange, but we wanted to build in a bit more depth to it. So that was where Alice, who we consulted on the design stage, she was sort of instrumental in helping us to sort of pin down our ideas, really, just to develop that.
Yeah, that was quite a key decision because we wanted to look at ourselves as almost like a client. So we approached Alice, who was a former AlphaQuad team member, to do these designs. So we briefed her, she came back with the designs, and we acted as one of our clients would do with one of our designs. Yeah, that was pretty key to it. And so thanks to Alice for doing that for us.
Yeah, she did a really wonderful job with the rebrand and redesign for us, which has been really helpful for everybody. So just to bounce off of your point, Tim, about treating ourselves like a client, obviously one of the biggest challenges that we've faced is not finding the time to be able to actually work on any AlphaQuad projects. So what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced during the development of the redesign?
It was actually a fairly straightforward project in the end, because obviously we knew Alice well. She knew us. She knew the brand from when she worked here before. She also knows the framework that we use for the development, and so didn't throw anything in that would have been massively challenging or time-consuming to code. Yeah, it was actually quite a sweet project from that point of view.
I think a challenge was the fact that we wanted to not use stock photography. We wanted to really reflect us as a team as much as we could through imagery on the site. So that's something we've never really given a lot of consideration before. So just kind of changing our mindset somewhat to how we can kind of get ourselves and our personality across in a sort of visual and engaging way, really, that we can use on the website.
Yeah, we kind of got over our illustrative stage with the corporate Memphis thing, which absolutely everybody seems to be using, with the like flat couple of tones cartoon-like images.
Yeah.
You see those everywhere now. It's getting a bit worn.
Yeah. And really, we're an experienced team, and we want people to know that. We don't want to sort of just fill our site with sort of stock photography that doesn't, it doesn't showcase ourselves, really.
Definitely. Stock photography has its place, but
yeah,
I think
that was not the aim of the redesign, was it?
Yeah, if the selling point is our team, then that's what needs to be on the site, so that when people do come to meetings with us, we aren't stock people, we're real people.
It was pretty difficult to find a day where we were all, nobody had meetings back to back to back. We were all here, and everybody was camera ready. It was that was a challenge, definite.
But we managed it.
We did it. We got there in the end. So speaking, I want to backtrack a little bit and talk more about the aesthetics side of things, and what Alice was able to bring to it. So what was the process of balancing aesthetics with the functionality of the new site?
That's a very deep question, Liz.
It's a very deep question.
I think the main functionality we looked at was we wanted to try and consider a little bit more who our audience was and what it was that we would want them to do when they landed on the site. So we worked with Alice a little bit in how we could actually cater for each of those different customer journeys and where we would want them to go once they've potentially landed on the homepage and identified whether they are already with another agency, whether they're new to doing this, whether they're managing their own marketing, what it is that is going to be best for them as a first step to working with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sarah said, it was trying to make sure that people got to the right place as easily as possible. And that helps. The colouring of the sections, the icons, as we've already said, that all helps signpost stuff nice and easily. There's nothing weird or overly. It's not a puzzle website. You can find what you need to find really quickly and get there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the rebrand with the new colours branding, I think it helps with like iconography association in terms of social content mixed with promo videography and imagery that we're creating. It just helps to be able to go, right, okay, I know that this colour means this and this colour means this and we can do this, that and the other. And that's definitely helped, and I think that's certainly improved functionality across different pages. It just makes it look a little bit more visually dynamic, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, it's more interesting.
More colour going on. Now, this is the deepest question. How does it feel to finally have this site done?
Amazing!
Yeah, great! Perfect!
No, it's great. Something really fresh. Like I said, the ones we've had for the last few years have just been iterations and on the same thing, just changing bits and bits and bits. But this one's actually we've drawn a line underneath that lot and we've got something new. And I think everybody's actually genuinely happy with it. And I don't think,
yeah, it looks great. It's it's just absolutely brilliant.
That's the other thing, working with somebody external to the company with the design as well. I think people feel more happy about attacking the design and putting it to bits rather than if somebody within the company's actually like produce something where everybody feels like, oh man, I can't slay them for that.
Just piggybacking off of that for the last question, What are the next steps now that the website is live?
We want to carry on treating ourselves like a client. So as we would do for clients, now that we've got a really good website that we're proud of, we now need to get it out there more.
Yeah.
So we're focusing much more on our own SEO, and rather than just trying to slot things in as and when we've got time, we're actually trying to treat ourselves as a client and reserve a few hours a month so that we keep on top of it. Because obviously, as we know for clients, if you do a bit of SEO and then leave it for 4 or 5 months, you've lost everything that you've just gained. So we're really keen to make sure that we keep going at it now. We're also overhauling all our social, as we talked about, introducing the QuadCast, trying to make sure that we're portraying ourselves as having the experience and expertise that we've got, and just keeping going now.
Yeah, doing things differently and doing fun things and dynamic, interesting things.
Trying things out on our own stuff, which we wouldn't necessarily fling straight at a client's website.
Yeah.
So,
Using it as a bit of a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Sarah said, that we're treating ourselves as a client and trying to make sure that we have a few hours a week to dedicate to AlphaQuad. Today is a great example of that. So we've had an AlphaQuad day today where we've been reviewing the website and we've been talking about what we're doing for AlphaQuad and all of that. So that's a perfect example of us treating ourselves like a client. And we also got to have pizza.
And
Yeah.
cake.
Win-win.
And
cake.
Has anybody got any final thoughts on the website before we call it a day?
No, I'd just say go and have a look at it and give us your feedback. Nice feedback only, please.
Yeah, positive feedback only. Thanks so much for listening. We're really proud of the new website and we hope you'll go and check it out through the link in the description. See you in the next episode. Bye.